Let's talk about when I met Dan Blezarian. First of all, how many people know who Dan Blezarian is? I think most of us do. Stop and ask yourself, aside from maybe a month ago, when's the last time you heard Dan's name? You didn't really hear shit about Dan Blezarian with all the COVID stuff. Dan Blezarian was doing Dan Blezarian things. Dan Blezarian didn't really have to work. He had money. He had all his things going on. His money was making money. Every time you heard about him, it's because he did something more and more and more crazy to stay relevant. Maybe. Was it real? Maybe. I don't know. Why do we know about Dan right now, though? Because it keeps popping up all over the place. It's on Instagram. It's on Facebook. It's all over YouTube. When I do cardio, I have a big iPad in front of me, and I'm just looking at videos. Mostly like business owners. Guys like Randall Pick, Live Fit, because I want to hear the little things he says about his business as he scaled it and grew, the things that have changed. He hasn't been making really shit for content. MF listen to his stuff. He doesn't put really shit on YouTube, and his content is very lacking. Everybody's just doing other things. I think people have refocused, and they're putting more energy and time into their own people instead of content. So that's the kind of stuff I'm watching. I'm watching some dude bought this huge building, put a couple gyms in the building, and he just does a day in the life thing. And I'm just curious to see progress. Probably the same reason people watch this, build out when we started doing our videos and come into the building and just showing the changes every day. But Dan Blezarian, you're hearing about him because they're saying he's broke, and it's getting tons of clicks, and it's pushing it out there. And people are talking about it, and people are sharing it. People are actually happy that some shit happened to Dan Blezarian. Like real dudes, they're not like trying to support him. They're only talking shit, and they're clicking, and they're consuming, and they're sharing that shit, that he's broke. Why? That was a man's man. Whether you liked him or you hated him or you were jealous of him, he had chicks, he had money, he had cars, he had the toys, he had all the shit that I think it's pretty safe to say the average guy wants. Even if you're like, I don't want a Ferrari, I'd rather put my money into my family. Okay, but you still watched it. Somewhere in the back of your head, you all dream about being that dude, like Nicolas Cage, right? I have a Ferrari, in whatever that movie he was in. But now that some bad shit happened, everybody's watching that. Everybody's talking about it. When we made a video on one of the last parties, we called it Burning Down SOE, or SOE, the night SOE burnt down, something to that effect. It got fucking huge clicks, like 4 times the amount of clicks any of the other videos on both sides, month before, month after got. Because people actually thought SOE burnt down. And rather than react and add value to some positive shit, everybody clicked on that other shit. Everybody wants to see the train wreck. Everybody wants the negative shit. Everybody wants that kind of stuff. Well, let me tell you, when you start consuming that and you start sharing negativity, something happens in your head. And if you're putting out negative shit, I promise you, you have more negative shit coming. Just try it. Just try to smile at somebody through the day. Just smile at people and see what happens. Some of them will smile back. You might have totally changed that person's day. You might be the only person that smiled at that person that day. But when you look at negative shit, when you look at doomsday shit, when you look at the world is crashing and you start preparing for those things, definitely prepare for them. I spent 7 years of my life preparing for the world to end. Didn't go do anything, didn't have anything, didn't go see anything. We just socked away fucking stuff for the world to end. We'd go every week and buy, $1,000 of tuna, $1,000 of chicken, because it was fast, easy protein, and it was good enough for a few years in case the world ended. You know what we did with all that stuff? We gave most of it to homeless shelters. We opened it all up and fed it to the animals because it was out of date. Like 10 years later, that stuff was expired. Probably, I'll bet there's $20, $30, maybe $40,000 worth of canned meats that were just questionable as to whether we were going to eat them. Some of them started eating their way out of the cans and stuff like that. So we had, at this point, we have zero to show for it. Had something happen, but that was the focus. When you start hearing good shit and you start looking at good stuff and you start smiling, then you start laughing, more of that comes towards you. You are going to get just like a YouTube algorithm. No matter whatever it is you're watching on YouTube, you're going to get more of that. You start looking at politics, that's what YouTube's going to give you. You start looking at motivational videos, that's what YouTube's going to give you. You start looking at fitness and workout videos, that's what they're going to give you. And if you just spend a week looking at positive motivational shit and workout videos and things that you perceive to make you better, if you watch those things, go back and try to find a channel that you had watched a month earlier without looking and spending all the time or using a search function, without looking through your history. It's almost impossible to find it because they're going to feed you more of what you've been consuming. And that's how life is. When you get around a person that's just talking, if you meet somebody and they want to just give you all the gossip, not the things that are good, just gossip. Not even gossip about you, not even gossip about them, just gossip. You're going to start rewiring inside your head for that. You're going to become that. If you're around people and you see them, let's say you see somebody once a month and all they tell you is catching up about something and it's always negative shit, stay the fuck away from that person. Get next to better people. Well, John, that's just what they are. Well, then you don't need to be around them. Get some new fucking friends. I don't have any friends. Well, what do you like to do? What's important to you? Go find people that's important to also. And I'm not talking about just online. Don't get your ass caught on the couch because all your friends are on the couch. So many people nowadays, my friend this, my friend that. Oh, what's your friend's name? Well, it's Death Dealer 27. But what's his real name? Well, I don't know. Well, when's the last time you saw your friend? Well, last night I talked to him. Oh, would you guys go to a restaurant? Did you guys go work out? What'd you do? Well, I mean, I saw him last night at like 1 in the morning when I was on Facebook. That's not a fucking friend. People have these online personas, and when you meet them, they are nothing like that. I used to moderate a forum on Light Fighter, tactical gear section on Light Fighter. It's a forum. Forums are pretty much dead now. There's nothing but fucking turds there. So I used to moderate this forum, and there was this dude everybody knew to be an SF guy. Had all the answers, always had pictures of the Gucci gear, had all this shit. He never straight came out and said he was SF, but he didn't say he wasn't, and he'd allowed people to think that he was. I moved to Camden. I had dealt with this dude online. He was a fucking really good customer. He had all the answers. He had connections all through these forums. When I moved to Camden, I was in Walmart, and he came running up. Hey, so-and-so. Hey, man, I just wanted to meet you. Boy was probably 450, 500 pounds, totally out of shape. And he said, I'm so-and-so. I go, bullshit. Who are you really, and where is so-and-so? He's like, no, that's me. It's perception. People online, they're not what you fucking think they are most of the time. That's why I turn videos on and walk around during the day, because the camera doesn't lie. Now, I can't turn this camera around. I might just show you this, and you have the perception that I'm in some cool space, right? What you don't see is this. You don't see the insulation hanging down up there. We're fixing that. That's going to change. But if I stage this here, and I just come down here, you're like, oh, that's a pretty cool fucking multicam wall, because you don't see this bullshit. So we only show you what we want to see. You don't see us, the influencers and the workout guys. You don't see those guys online when they're sitting. You don't see them when they're drooling. You don't see them when they just woke up. You don't see any of that shit. You only see what they want you to see. So don't get caught living in a fake world. Put the phone down, put the tablet down, whatever, and just do something for you. When you wake up in the morning, try it on a weekend, whenever you have time. And it doesn't have to be whenever you wake up, right? Get up an hour earlier and don't touch any devices. Try that. See what happens when you just work in your headspace. Nobody knows how to be inside their head anymore. and convert that to energy and motion. If you just got up first thing in the morning and didn't touch any devices, and you got 3 things you need, whatever it is, fold the lawn, whatever, the simplest things. Do those things you don't want to do, just pick one of them. Most of them only take 5 minutes. Just get them done. This place is such a wreck because things just got set places, and it only take 5 minutes to put those things where they go, each one, right? If you did fucking 10 of them a day, 50 minutes, within a couple of weeks, this place would be totally squared. Everything would look great. So don't get stuck. Don't get hung up, and stay away from negativity. And if you have to create it, just create it. It starts with a smile. Literally, just smile, man. Smile at somebody and have a positive conversation. When you meet up with somebody or you get into work and somebody starts telling you this shit, just go, what happened? Good, man. Rewire them. Be contagious to them. Just fucking rewire them. But like the Dan Blezarian thing. I hadn't heard of Dan Blezarian in over a year. It hadn't been in my eyes, hadn't crossed my path, nothing. It's everywhere now because people think some terrible shit. And they, in their heart, they hope some terrible shit happened to him. Even though everybody's like, Dan Blezarian, fucking that's the man. You know, everybody's talking about the goats at the mansion and the chicks and the titties and the stacks of cash. Don't hope something bad happened to that dude. Why? Other than jealousy. That's it, man. Don't get caught in that shit. And if you are, just look away from it, man. Fucking put your time into something good, guys.